Welcome to the NFC South Roundtable, a weekly live show featuring top-tier insight and analysis on all things NFC South. From the best creators in the division, including Atlanta Falcons creator Berto, Carolina Panthers creator Clay, New Orleans Saints creator TJ, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers creator James. Catch the NFC South Roundtable every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on the NFC South Roundtable YouTube channel. NFC South Roundtable, welcome back into another episode, and boy, oh boy, does it feel like sunshine and rainbows walking through a forest of dandelions, because the entire NFC South has won in Week 5, baby. That title did not deceive you. In fact, Berto, you know what? You're a winner too. You didn't play, but come on the bandwagon. You're a winner too, man. We got so much to get into, man. A great
not tripping on a bye
for the South. On a bye, not tripping. That's fair. You know what, Berto? You're a winner. Just don't even say on a bye. You're a winner. You're a winner.
Hey,
all right. So we
were
undefeated this week in the NFC South, and there's a lot to break down from Week 5 and, of course, preview Week 6. But before we do that, let's just go around the circle, because I don't know how many times we're going to see this season. It might be the only time that we see everybody in a positive mood. James, how you feeling?
There you go again, Colby. We couldn't get
started.
2 minutes into the show. We couldn't get
James.
The carrying cross of the host. There it is.
Listen,
baby.
I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing absolutely fantastic today. You're right. It is a momentous day for the NFC South Roundtable today, where we're all winners and we can all celebrate wins, and it's a beautiful thing. So yes, I am here today very happy because I sit here before you a winner yet again.
There you go, James. And you know what? You were a winner this offseason, too, when you won a contest. And now your team's winning football games. It just doesn't get better for you. You got shirts with your face on it, looking like a pirate, man. I mean, wow. It doesn't get better if you're James, man.
Now, you know what? Hold on. I have to let everybody in the chat know this. I just told Kobe all of this information literally 45 seconds before we started this stream. And now he's
you gave him a layup off screen.
He's
that's what it was.
He's going to throw all this stuff out about Kobe and James are best friends. Look at all this stuff I know about James. I told you 45 seconds before we started this, Colby.
I know you like going to amusement parks also.
You know what? That is fair. Actually, I did send you that in our group chat. So that's fair. That's fair. That's, you know what? That's fair.
I know everything there is to know about James. And you know what, Berto? I know everything there is to know about you also. Just like your low-key secret love is not the Falcons. It's actually the Patriots.
Man, if you don't get your funky ass up out of here trying to label me a goddamn Patriots fan because I live in New England. Oh, no, never, man. I'll take that title here in the beautiful state of New England as the sole Falcon fan, which I will be at the November 2nd game. If you guys recognize me, please come through, man.
Absolutely beautiful. How you feeling? Like, what'd you do on the bye week? Anything fun?
So Clay and James can tell you, maybe even TJ, dude, I was bored as hell. So I went into all of their streams just saying, hey, listen, good luck, guys. Just good luck. I wasn't in there to terrorize them. I was going in there like, just a fellow NFC Roundtable brother, man, just sending them good vibes. It was a good week for football. A lot of exciting games. I chilled and took in all these games, and there was a lot of great matchups this week. And so it was a good week overall for football, and especially for the NFC South. So I'm happy for everybody.
Absolutely love that. Clay, how you feeling? You're back on top after you got blown out by the New England Patriots. That's a game of the past. Now you're a winner.
This guy, man, is the biggest instigator I've ever seen in my life. And if you think he's bad here, go watch the AFC East Roundtable.
Oh boy,
it's absolute circuits over there. But no, man. I mean, I'm happy with the comeback win. I can't, I'm not going to take it for granted or whatever. I mean, it proved that this team has some grit. It doesn't quit. Even when it does look hopeless. But again, it comes down to seeing if this can be consistent going forward. Like, again, I'm not going to go hype train, none of that. I just need to see consistency.
Certainly. Definitely fair. TJ, what about you? First win of the season, baby.
Yeah, man, excited about it. Gotta relish this moment because you don't know how many you're gonna get. But I mean, it was a good win, nonetheless. And the team showed some fight last week. So I'm excited about that, man. And also just excited to do this show, man. I mean, like y'all mentioned at the beginning, I mean, when was the last time every team in the South won?
I can't remember.
I can't either. You know,
I can't remember.
Look, it should be a good show. I mean, spirits are high, but I mean, it's still a very young season, and you know, so we'll see. But right now, I mean, how can you not be excited about where we're at right now as a conference, winning a game at least for 1 week, feeling happy.
Hey,
And you know what, too? TJ called it. TJ felt good that his squad was going to come out with the first win of the season, and that's exactly what happened. And that's what Roundtable Sports is all about, giving you the best damn creators from each team that tells you exactly what is going to happen, and that's exactly what we provide for you guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get into these games. And James, I want to start off with you because what a back and forth game that this was between the Buccaneers and the Seahawks. Emeka Egbuka, I mean, he's had a good start to the season nonetheless, but I feel like this really was his welcome to the NFL game. I mean, you had the fans chirping at Baker before the game. Baker comes back after this win and is chirping right back at the fans, man. How did you guys come out with this win?
Well, a lot of perseverance and a lot of just heart-stopping moments, to be sure, man. You know, it was another great win against a really good Seattle Seahawks team, in my opinion. And, you know, this game was crazy. I mean, Mayfield was 29 of 33, 379 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, was only sacked once in this game. Without Bucky Irving, Rachaad White had 2 rushing touchdowns in this game as well. Dude, Emeka Egbuka, 7 targets, 7 catches, 163 yards, and a touchdown. You then also had Levante David getting an interception at the end of the game, which helped the Buccaneers set up the game-winning field goal. In all, it took a little bit of everybody, right? But I will say a couple of things. Number one, Baker Mayfield's, and I've seen a couple people in the chat mention this, like Baker Mayfield's a very legitimate MVP candidate right now. In fact, like, I've seen a lot of people say, and it's kind of hard to disagree, if the season ended today, Mayfield would probably be the MVP. And it's not hard to see why, dude. I mean, literally all 4 of their wins have been last-minute victories right down to the absolute wire, and Mayfield's playing like an absolute beast. Another thing that a lot of people have been saying, which again, it's pretty much, you know, very, very difficult, near impossible to debate, is that Emeka Egbuka is playing like the offensive rookie of the year right now. And that's without Mike Evans. That's with Chris Godwin still coming back and recovering from his ankle injury and showing a little bit of rust and stuff like that. So this team, like, Cloud 9, man. Now, I know the defense obviously was pretty rough. Sam Darnold was crazy himself, 28 of 34, 341 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. I mean, imagine like having Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold and not figuring it out, right? It's crazy. So, you know, these are just 2 quarterbacks that went absolutely head-to-head, toe-to-toe here. The defense, look, they gave up 5 straight touchdown drives in this game. They do need to play better, but they were also very banged up in this game. Jamel Dean didn't play. Benjamin Morrison didn't play as well. So they want to get healthier in that secondary going forward. Also, that was a big detriment to them in this game. But dude, it's hard to be super duper upset when your team's 4-1. And I know some people are going to be like, well, you know, they could be 0-5 if this happened and this happened and this happened. One, it's the same argument a lot of people made with the Chiefs last year, and they made the freaking Super Bowl. Number 2, and I think about this a lot because I know TJ says this a lot, is good football teams find ways to win games. And that's what we're seeing every week, basically, except for that Philadelphia Eagles game where, heck, they almost came back and won that game too. So really on cloud 9 with how the Bucs have been playing right now, dude. They're looking fantastic. Well, couple things, Colby. Now you're muted as well.
Damn it, Clay, you changed it on me, man. You changed it on me behind the scenes. I knew I couldn't trust you, bro. I knew I couldn't trust you. But James, you know what? You convinced me. You convinced me. Between Baker Mayfield MVP, Emeka Egbuka Offensive Rookie of the Year, y'all might really go to the Super Bowl. Like, real talk. This team might be different. Y'all really might be legitimate Super Bowl contenders.
You know, man, I talked about it on my channel. And I think the guys can probably attest to this, like, just in terms of like the way the culture is this year specifically, I feel like it's really different for the Bucs. Like even like the past couple of years with Baker, even with Brady, because with Brady, you're like, well, duh, of course you're going to be in every single game. But like even with the first couple of years of Baker, it's like, well, yeah, of course Baker is going to be scrappy and be a dog. But now it feels like that kind of mentality has really been ingrained in the whole team so far this year, where it's like, hey, somebody will step up and make a play at some point here and get them back into this football game. And it's interesting. It's interesting because it is a cultural thing that we just, it's a really different field this year, in my opinion. So yeah, dude, it's really hard to be upset when your team's 4-1.
Absolutely. And guys, before I forget, because I will forget, big congratulations to every single guy on this panel right now. And big shout out to the chat for the support. You guys hit 4,000 subscribers recently, and it felt like it was just last week when we talked about you guys hitting 3,000. The NFC South Roundtable is on a massive upward trajectory, man. And if you guys keep performing like this, before you know it, the NFC South Roundtable is going to have an event of their own, which is something that we would obviously at Roundtable Sports would love to give these guys. So keep supporting, keep showing out. And next thing you know, you guys will have an opportunity to meet these guys at an event as early as 2026.
And you heard it here first from Colby. We're all getting paid raises. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. We're all getting pay
I like that
raises,
one, James.
boys.
That's
We're
awesome,
back.
James.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about
man.
a 1% pay increase. There we go, baby.
That's
Here's another
diabolical, bro.
dollar. Here's another dollar. Hey, let's go over to Berto. Berto, what were your thoughts on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win?
Great performance, to say the least, by Baker Mayfield. Very efficient with his selection of targets. Man, it's crazy to say Emeka Egbuka, yes, is playing like the offensive rookie of the year. And it's crazy to say that, the offense is channeling, the passing offense at least is channeling through this amazing rookie wide receiver. Chris Godwin, I would believe he would bounce back. He's going to bounce back. He's, a bit rusty, right? When they get Mike Evans back, it's going to be a scary offense to try and control, especially in the NFC South. We saw Cade Otton get involved in this game. That's one name I mentioned last week. I'd like to see the Buccaneers infuse into their offense a little bit more. He had a decent game, 81 yards, if I'm not mistaken. And just like James mentioned, man, good teams find good ways to win, man. And exactly that. Tampa Bay was they were back and forth. But they're a good team and they found a way to win, right? Not so much defensively, but offensively, they got it done. But I have to touch light on this because I don't know, maybe James can, know this or not, man. I think, the offensive minds that have come through Tampa Bay, whether that be Liam Cohen, Dave Canales, now Josh Grizzard, I think they're benefiting from the tutelage of Tom Moore, the senior offensive assistant that sits behind the scenes of Tampa Bay and watches, and he guides this offense and how they should attack teams. And why do I say Tom Moore? It's because when I was watching this game on Sunday afternoon, which was deemed the America's game of the week, I feel like the Falcons would have had something to say if we were playing at 4:00, but I digress. I just saw like a young Colts team. And the way offensively, how they were just, how they were playing. Everybody was in sync. Everybody was on page, real disciplined on offense. So I don't know, James, if you can agree to this, but I think Tom Moore is not given enough credit in that Tampa Bay coaching staff than what he deserves. I think he deserves a lot of credit for getting Tampa Bay to where they are right now. I mean, he's had a lot of great quarterbacks. He's worked with a lot of great quarterbacks. I mean, he helped guide Jameis Winston to a 5,000-yard year. You should know about that. Obviously, having Tom Brady, coaching Peyton Manning. So Tom Moore has seen a lot, and now he gets Baker Mayfield. Has had him for the past 3 years. So I'm not in no way, shape, or form. Am I changing logos? I'm just spitting facts and just letting you know, man. This looks good on paper right now from Tampa Bay, man.
James, you might be able to recruit him.
Well, I am so happy
No
you
chance.
said that because if you look right here,
Hey, look at that.
Tom Moore wrote a book called The Players
Imagine that. I wouldn't have known that.
where he talks about all of his offensive, learning from Chuck Noll, learning from Bruce Arians, coaching with the Cardinals, coaching with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, his time with Jameis, his time with Brady, Terry Bradshaw, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. These are all quarterbacks he's worked with throughout his career. So this is a great book. I read this whole thing. It was good. So Tom Moore, look, to go from Jameis to Brady to Baker, he stayed throughout the entire Arians coaching staff. And then when Arians retired, Todd Bowles said, look, this guy is so valuable. I want to keep him around. Right. He is in his 80s. He is he knows more football than probably the whole Bucs coaching staff combined, right? Like the dude is just an absolutely veteran coach, has been around every offense you could ever imagine, has been an offensive coordinator, had opportunities to be a head coach in this league. So I agree, Berto. And he is one of those guys where it's like, you don't hear about him a ton. You kind of see him almost as like a meme of like, oh, there's Tom Moore. The dude's like 200 years old and he's still coaching. But like he's kept around for a reason. And like whenever you hear guys in that building, be it the coaching staff, be it the players, they talk very glowingly about Tom Moore. And that's for a reason. It's because the dude is an absolute wealth of knowledge. So I agree with you. I think that he is absolutely somebody that just doesn't help out the quarterbacks, right? But with Dave Canales being a first-time offensive coordinator in there, Liam Cohen getting his first like real shot at the NFL level to be a first-time OC. Now with Josh Grizzard being there as well. These are guys who in their first times in this role, they can go to a guy who's done it before and has done it at every single level and say, hey, what do I do in this situation? How do I handle this situation? He's an absolutely completely great, valuable member of that Bucs coaching staff. So I agree 100%.
Certainly. Now let's go down to Clay. Clay, want to get your thoughts on this game and just the dominant win from the Bucs.
Yeah, I mean, Baker Mayfield has just been absolutely surgical all season. I mean, the guy's throwing darts, threading the needles, buying time, and then he's making clutch throws right and left, right? It's vintage Baker, in my opinion. I've been a big Baker fan since his Oklahoma days. Who knows? Maybe, they keep I like how Berto keeps saying, getting Kate Otten involved, but maybe the Ravens, I heard, are shopping Mark Andrews. And the last time I checked, Mark Andrews played at Oklahoma. So maybe that might be a move you might see the Tampa Bay Bucs make. You never know. But no, everybody on this offense stepped up. Rashad White stepped up, having Bucky Irving out. Levante David, you talk about a veteran instinct that they needed with the game on the line, right? Huge play. The biggest thing that I took away from this game is just the ugly truth about this game is the special teams again and again for the Bucs continue to put them in terrible situations, big returns, bad field positions. That's where your chaos is happening. And I think that's the reason why you see a lot of close games going down to the wire with the Bucs, because their special teams the coverage has just been trash. I mean, if we're going to be completely honest here. But again, the Bucs find ways to win. They're flirting with chaos every damn week. And eventually I am going to say, though, I think that luck's going to run out. I do think that this Bucs team is a legitimate contender. I just think that you've got some things you've got to fix before, again, your luck's going to run out. Other than that, great win. And of course, Baker Mayfield, I agree with James. I think he is an MVP candidate. I think he's a top 5 quarterback right now from what we're seeing. And let's see if that can continue forward.
Certainly. Let's go on over to TJ. TJ, what were your thoughts about this Buccaneers win to wrap us up?
Well, although I didn't pick the Bucs to win this football game, I mean, it pretty much confirms what I've been saying since the beginning of the season, right after they beat the Texans. I said that the Bucs are good, like deep run playoff good. And I know some people in the chat were laughing like, wait till they play this team. Wait till they play that team. I keep telling y'all, like, you can find out the makeup of a team by just looking at the game. I know if you're not a fan of a team, you hate watch because you want to see the bottom drop. You want to see them make mistakes. You want to see them throw a pick so you can tweet. But I'm telling you, this is a good football team. I've seen this before. I've seen teams that find ways to win week after week after week, and they start believing that they have a chance no matter the situation. And Baker Mayfield gives that team that type of feeling. Like, we can pretend like players don't matter, the next man up mentality, that stuff matters. When I can look in your eyes and I know that I got a chance to win, all I got to do is do my job, trust and believe. I mean, it makes your confidence go up. It makes the morale of the team go up. The guy is just playing on another level. And it also just teaches us, sorry, Clay, Carolina don't know how to handle quarterbacks, because we've seen 2 quarterbacks that were left for dead, had one stop in Carolina,
Yep.
And now they're throwing for 300 plus yards. And basically it came down to a Sam Darnold mistake that got Tampa to win. So look, first off, it just also shows us that we give up on these damn quarterbacks too fast. Like if they're not what they're supposed to be right away, we never look at the organizations. We never look at the organization picking in the top 3, picking in the top 5. Never look at that. We never look at the organizations. These are 2 talented quarterbacks that dueled for over 300 yards. And, Baker Mayfield came out on top. Man, credit to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're a tough team. They're going to be a tough out all year long. And right now, they're playing some of the best football. I mean, they were a couple plays away from beating Philly. They could have easily been undefeated. And like I said, you can pick and choose, if that didn't happen, this didn't happen. Well, I mean, look, that's why they play the game. Good teams find ways to win. Credit to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I can talk about stats and stuff, but you basically, all you guys basically talked about it. So just got to give them credit, man. And Baker Mayfield and Dak Prescott, to me, are the 2 front runners for league MVP right now.
Absolutely
I want to allude to what TJ said too, because he was saying about the organization. It's also like what we talked about on this show multiple times. It's how your coaches set up your players for success. It's the same thing with the quarterbacks, and I think it's the same thing that's kind of we've seen a little bit with Bryce Young here in Carolina. But I've also said that I felt that Matt Rule and this coaching staff didn't set up Sam Darnold nor set up Baker Mayfield for success here.
Because here's the reality. When you get that stigma of being a bad quarterback, like you start to travel. Like, man, look at Mac Jones. Y'all seen what Mac Jones did on Thursday night? I know this don't have anything to do with the NFC South, but this is a guy who went out there with backup wide receivers, backup tight ends, backup running back. But you align him with a Kyle Shanahan, can bring the best out of a quarterback. That stuff matters. I always say the greatest Jedi mind trick that we all seem to fall for is it's always the player's fault. And we never look at these organizations that constantly pick in the top 5. Like, how is it not their fault? I'm just amazed by that, by that theory. Like how people just completely just blame the players.
Yep, makes a good point.
I mean, it's the personnel, it's the coaching staff, it's ownership that ultimately puts those players in the position to succeed. The players just go out there with whatever they're given to and are asked to succeed. So, TJ, I'm 1,000% with you on that one. But let us know your guys' thoughts on this game in the comment section below. Before we move on into the next game, though, I want to get to some of these super chats. We got Tom Brady coming in here with a $7 super chat. Bert, so that's your guy right there. It says, pray to the Saints because Stephon Diggs, the #1 PFF wide receiver, is about to torch that weak defense for 175 yards. Not even a miracle can stop him. And then he throws in 28-3 for you, Berto.
Tom, I love you, Tom, because he's a supporter of my channel too. So I can't hate on him. You can say whatever you want, buddy. You get a pass. I'm on a bye.
That's the guy right there. That's the goat. We got Brood Singh coming in with a $5 donation. Says, Who Dat Nation feeling good now with our performance against Buffalo. A win was coming soon. Feel way better about this 1-4 start than last year's 2-3 start. TJ, is that something that you would agree with?
No.
Oh. All right. Well, you know what, Brute? You're the only one there, but you know what? Glass half full. Glass half full. You can never grow wrong with it. DQ comes in with a $5 donation. It says, a lot of y'all are saying luck. We beat the Seahawks, but if it was your guys' teams, you guys would be quiet. That's fair. That's fair. You know what? Got to give respect where respect is due. Now, before we all get into this next game, I do want to give a big shout out to the sponsor of the video over at Sleeper. Use the promo code you guys see on the screen, RTS, and you will get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Now, Berto, you guys didn't play this week, but because of that, I actually want to kick this quick parlay to you. You guys are playing the Buffalo Bills this week, coming off their first loss into the New England Patriots. Want to build a quick parlay with you, so I'm going to ask you about these lines. You let me know what you think. Bijan Robinson, anytime touchdown. You taking it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like it.
Can I give you a stat why?
Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you
Real quick. Buffalo has the worst rush defense in the NFL. Point blank, and Atlanta's going to abuse that. We have a two-headed monster there. but I bet on Bijan anytime touchdown.
Well, then I think you might like this one. What do you think about Michael Penix over or under 6.5 rushing yards?
Oh, over.
That's a pretty crazy line.
It is a pretty crazy line. I wonder why they would put that on there. Do they know something that we don't know?
6.5 rushing yards over or under. That's a freebie right there.
Right there.
That's crazy. Okay, what about this? Last one. Kyle Pitts, 37.5 receiving yards.
Oh, man. Coming off a 70-yard performance against the Commanders, he seems to be, trending in the right way, playing real loose. Love where he's at right now at his stage of the game. Give me the over on that.
Give you the over. I absolutely love it. Well, let us know your guys' thoughts about this parlay in the comment section below. And, of course, match our parlay using the Sleeper app today, linked in the description box below. Guys, let's go ahead and let's get back to these games, and let's transition on over to the Carolina Panthers, who are able to remain victorious over the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins, who have one win on the season. They haven't looked like a very good team so far this season. Obviously lost Tyreek Hill a couple of weeks ago. But a win is a win. And like we said earlier, Clay, you guys were coming off of an absolute stomping against the New England Patriots. How are you guys going to respond? And you did it in this game. How are you able to do it?
Hey, man.
Call it out, James.
You can't let that go, can you? Can you just let it go?
No.
God, damn.
Call it out, James.
Until the end of the
I
season.
didn't even talk smack or nothing, man. It's
No
just
one's
like,
safe.
Nobody's safe,
No
man.
one.
Dude, if the Patriots beat the Bucs,
Carrying
James,
it.
Oh my gosh.
just you wait, bro.
Oh man, yeah, this was we beat a bad team. All right, let's just be honest. But I'm gonna start with Bryce Young. This guy started off the game like he has every last week this year, besides the Falcons game. But first drive, fumble, second drive, interception. But I'm gonna give the kid credit where credit's due. He didn't crumble. Like, he locked in. We leaned on the run game. Started taking what that defense gave us. No hero ball. Wasn't trying to overdo it, overthink. Just played smart football from there, right? He was 19 of 30 for 198 yards, 2 touchdowns. Had the game-winning touchdown to rookie tight end Mitchell Evans late in that fourth. So that's the kind of response you want from your supposed franchise guy. It's still an ugly start, and again, the problem is I'm tired of seeing the inconsistencies be consistent. I need this kid did show some real poise, but again, you start like crap, but you finish like a leader. I just need those inconsistencies to please be gone. Can we talk about how Rico Dowdle looked like prime time Adrian Peterson in this game? I mean,
Adrian Peterson, pause.
I mean, like 23 carries for 206 yards. He had 234 total yards. Okay. A touchdown. He had 15 broken tackles in this game, and he had 5 explosive runs, which means he had more than basically more than 10 rushing yards on those rushes, which he did have a 57-yard rush. So he just controlled the whole game, controlled the tempo, chewed up the clock, just straight up bullied the Dolphins. But the crazy part is we were down 17-0 in this game. And you come back and you score 20 unanswered points. It was mind-blowing to me. I don't remember the last time I've seen this. I think this tied the biggest comeback in franchise history. I think it happened back in 2021 or 2020 is the last time we had this. But that Rico Dowdle delivered. It's going to be interesting how they're going to go forward with Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard. I'm interested to see how they do it. I don't know. I kind of like what I saw at a Dowdle, just this downhill bulldoze workhorse running back. I kind of like him a little bit better, at least from what I've seen. But another huge thing is these rookies stepped up in this game. Jimmy Horn Jr. In his first NFL game caught a big, huge 17-yard pass on 4th and 5 to keep that drive alive to end up scoring that game-winning touchdown. You also had Trevor Etienne had a big 12-yard run. Mitchell Evans sealed the deal. Of course, Tedero McMillan, who I think is in that running for Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's probably not up there with Ibuka. He's probably around 2nd or 3rd on that list. But again, he continues to lead this offense in receiving yards. I think a Nick Squarton is the future of this defense. You're talking about a guy who had, I think, five pressures in this game, should have had a sack. He also had 2 tackles for a loss in this game as well. I mean, having Derek Brown is absolutely huge in this game. He had a sack in this game. Xavier Legette, let's just talk about how badly he needed that touchdown in this game. I mean, just, 7-yard touchdown pass, first of all season. You almost feel like that weight came off his shoulders after that. So I feel like Legette, we saw his confidence come back in this game, which is kind of dangerous for opposing DBs going forward, because especially if Carolina gets Jalen Coker back, which I'm very excited about. His window just opened up this week. But again, this defense, that came in the clutch. We're talking about the worst defense in NFL history last year, ladies and gentlemen. And we only allowed 19 rushing yards in this game and had 3 sacks. And again, I can't believe it that they Evero is, the guy isn't perfect as a coordinator, but this defense was scrappy as hell, and they've been improving every single week. And I have to give credit where credit's due. Again, I just need to see this kind of effort going forward. And I also want to say one thing about Bryce Young. When this offense isn't going in that high tempo rhythm, and they get real conservative, that's when you start seeing the mistakes happen with Bryce Young, because then he starts overthinking. But when that tempo is going, you start seeing the rhythm and confidence in him. And I think going forward, they need to adjust that offense to him so that this offense can go to be able to do what we saw like we did against Miami. So a good win. I just need to see consistency going forward.
Yeah, fair. Rico Dowdle also, by the way, I don't know if you guys have played Madden 26 yet, but that guy's an absolute cheat code. So if you haven't, go ahead and trade for that guy in franchise mode, because he'll run all over the place and win you every single game. Worked for me. It can work for you. TJ, let's go on over to you, man. What do you think about this win?
Yeah, man. I mean, this was a gutsy performance by the Carolina Panthers. They fell down early in the game, and I'm pretty sure a lot of Carolina Panthers fans were like, well, here we go again. But they managed to rally back. I mean, Bryce Young showing that he's the better of the 2 former Alabama quarterbacks. And, look, I said this last week, and I'm going to say it here today. The Miami Dolphins are a train wreck, and I just kind of seen that coming. I mean, the Jets are just awful. I think a lot of people put a lot of stock in that game last week. But they got a lot of issues over there. They got a coach that more than likely is going to get fired. I'll be shocked if he survives the entire season. And Carolina, they took advantage of opportunity, and Bryce Young, he's a mixed bag, but the guy has talent. It's just a matter of trying to bottle that talent, and maybe when it's time for desperation, maybe not have to be so desperate. He can just play like he plays when he's desperate throughout the entire game, and I think he'll be fine. But he is showing confidence. He is showing his ability to be able to bounce back. I was a little concerned a couple weeks ago when he had a tough game and he's slamming his helmet down. I was like, man, I don't know about this. But to come back and bounce back and, also get his young receivers involved, I thought that was a good look. Carolina showed some resolve in this game. They can actually build on this. It actually is a feather in the hat to Dave Canales to show that he can actually get his team to be able to respond when their back is against the wall. I'm not going to say, this is going to be the start of something, like a run or anything like that. But to know that you actually have the capabilities when your back is against the wall to be able to respond and come away with a victory, I think it could do wonders to the confidence of a young Bryce Young, and also to those young players, and also Rico Dowdle. I mean, you got to think about this. This was a guy who was in the Dallas Cowboys backfield last year, kind of was like this a backup guy. They never really looked at him as the guy, and he takes advantage of opportunity when Chuba Hubbard is down and shows that he is worth the money that Carolina gave him. And if he can continue to put up, I'm not going to say a 200-yard performance, but just put up a solid performance, I think people are going to start to respect him as a running back. I've always thought that he was talented. It's good to see him actually show it out there on the field. But, credit to Carolina showing that resolve and the toughness that you need when your back is against the wall, coming through, responding, and winning a football game.
Absolutely. And before we go on up to James about this game, we got some big super chats I want to get into. Huge shout out to Cordell, who comes in with a $45 donation. I mean, do we got air horns in the chat?
I have actually a soundboard somewhere. Hold on, I can pull it up.
You got it?
Find it first.
Hey, look, man, we on a time constraint.
Well, while we find,
go ahead, just keep going.
While Clay finds that, we'll read the super chat. Big shout out to Cordell. I got it. Super chat. Absolute bravo to all of our rookies last Sunday. Proud of this team and Bryce never giving up and locking in till the very end. Keep that momentum going all the way into next week. Keep pounding. Absolutely, man. It takes one game to build momentum, and then you keep building it. Thank you, Clay. My soundboard was not working for me there, so we appreciate that because Cordell, $45 donation, does deserve the air horns, and he just got them. Big shout out to Cordell, man. Wish nothing but the best for your Panthers moving forward. At least, now that my team's not facing them. Anyway.
Shut up.
Now that they're not facing them. All
Lord
right.
have mercy, bro. You are petty as fuck, bro.
Clay, I'm on your side now. I'm on your side now, man. Panthers to the moon, baby. Panthers to the moon. Shout out to Tom Brady, who comes in with a $2 super chat. Says, Clay, we have more rings than the South. It never ends. Damn. Coming out your neck now, too. That Tom Brady's going crazy right now. Must have stepped away from the Raiders because, they're not doing too well. But
yikes.
That's how they're here.
It's amazing.
Neither here nor there.
It's amazing, though, how Tom Brady is responsible for misery for every single team in here. Like, Tom Brady was the one that retired Drew Brees in the divisional round. Tom Brady was responsible for the 28-3 comeback. Tom Brady was responsible for Carolina losing a Super Bowl a couple, in 2003?
2001.
Right? 2001. So, besides the Bucs, they actually benefited from him. But
man, blazing this guy up.
That's crazy how all of our teams were affected by him in a major way. That's insane.
Yeah, Tom Brady made me cry in 2020. So, yeah.
Look, 20 years,
got points.
You had him for 20. So
I cried in 2020 because of Tom Brady, too. So,
yeah, but you cried for a different reason.
That's what you get, Colby. That's what you get.
It's a joy, though.
All right. Look, let's go up to James. James, what do you think about the Carolina Panthers win?
It's pretty good, man. I mean, it's funny. I was in Clay's live stream at the beginning when it was like, I don't know, 100-0 or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I said to Clay, I was like, Clay, man, this ain't going well. This ain't going well at all. And I was sitting there and I was like, oh, man, if this continues, some heads are going to roll here.
Tired. You said that.
It's the quote from me.
Yeah.
And thankfully they, for Clay's sanity, they came back and won. Rico Dowell, an absolute dog, 208 rushing yards in this game. I love it. I had him on my fantasy team. So, that was great for me. Dude, it was a good come from behind victory for the Panthers. They needed it like nobody's business. I mean, that is the absolute truth. So, look, I know people are going to be like, they beat a bad Miami Dolphins team, and I get it. I mean, that team is just exploding and imploding and every single week. But, I mean, dude, a win's a win. And Carolina got a win here. They're 2-3 now. I don't think they're not second in the division because they have one more loss than the Falcons. But, I mean, they're getting closer there. So, I mean, it was a good win for Carolina, much, much needed win.
All right, and let's go on over to you, Berto. Wrap us up with this game. What'd you think?
Man, gutsy performance, like Clay mentioned. I was watching that game, and man, the Dolphins dominated the first two quarters, but something flicked right after that. Xavier Legette touchdown, which I feel happy for the young man getting that touchdown. Like Clay mentioned, it was like a weight lifted off of his shoulder. You carry the bus label and you hear it. I'm happy for him to get that touchdown. But then the kicker there, making the three points to make it 17-10. I just felt like that was the turning point for Carolina because in the second half, they looked like a completely different team, in my opinion. They looked more balanced. The defense got after it. Pat Jones came in with a big-time clutch sack there towards the end of the game. So, it looked good. It looked good on paper and on screen. I'm still not sold, that Bryce and Canales are the match made in heaven and going forward for this organization. For a minute there, I thought they were going to cue the Seth Rollins music for all the wrestling fans, burn it down because, bro, it was getting close to that at 17-0. But nonetheless, a win's a win. Yes, you beat a bad TD Finn's Miami Dolphins team, but that that's all you got to do. You have to beat these bad teams. There's no such thing as a morale victory, but maybe you guys can start stacking these wins on these bad ball clubs. But congratulations to y'all. Y'all pulled it out, man. And 200 yards rushed by Rico, man. That's absurd, man. That's some top tier running right there, man.
I think the most underrated thing from this team, though, that no one's giving the credit is the defense. I mean, we're talking about a team that was allowing over 180 yards rushing per game last year defensively, and we only allowed the Miami Dolphins 19 rushing yards. That's just the biggest takeaway I took.
Good stuff, Clay. Good stuff. Certainly got to see Rico Dowdle do it. Continuing moving forward, right? You got the momentum now.
We'll see. I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting how they're going to do this backfield because of having Chuba Hubbard. So it's going to be interesting.
They're certainly met with a question, but fellas, let's go ahead and let's wrap up week 5 with the first win of the New Orleans Saints. TJ, you called this one. You thought it was going to happen, so I know ultimately at the end you're not surprised, but nonetheless, I know you feel good about this win. So go ahead and tell us how you guys were able to remain victorious in this one, and what does this mean for you guys moving forward?
Well, yeah, I mean, look, when we were looking at the schedule, when you look at the top, the few games that the Saints had to start the season, you kind of felt like, maybe not going to win those games, but this was the game that was circled, because the Giants are in the New Orleans Saints tier. You look at some of the issues that plague their team is virtually identical. But credit to the New Orleans Saints. They needed a win in a major way, and they go out there and they win the football game. I mean, it started off about as rough as it could. They went down 14-3, and I was like, man, some major changes going to have to happen if they lose this football game the way that how the Giants started. Like Jackson Dart was doing whatever the heck he wanted out there at the beginning of the game. But credit to the Saints. I mean, 5 turnovers on 5 consecutive possessions. Like, that's insane. Credit to the defense. And one thing that I liked about this game the most is that a lot of the young players that the Saints drafted and second-year players were the ones that were stepping up. Like Brian Brzee, he forced a fumble on Cam Scatterboo. Jordan Howden picked it up, ran it for an 80-plus yard touchdown. Kool-Aid McKinstry had 2 interceptions in a game. Yernis Sinker, the rookie, he got a fumble recovery after Demario Davis knocked it out. Cam Jordan, was able to get a fumble recovery. Even, the OGs helping out as well. I just like the fact that you had the young guys stepping up. And, you got to be happy for a guy like Spencer Rattler. He's been playing solid the entire season. It just hasn't translated to wins. And, you got Saints fans out there blaming him like they haven't watched the games, 0-10 as a starter. And I'm just glad that he got the monkey off his back. That, and also Kellen Moore getting his first win. And guys, feeling like their hard work and what they're trying to put forward is not in vain. Like, eventually you want to see your hard work pay off, and it did for at least this week. What do I feel like going forward? I just think that it's just one game. I'm not looking at, oh, man, it's going to be the start of something great. No, all right? I know what type of team the New Orleans Saints are. You got to take the wins when they come and hope that what you're actually seeing for some of these young players can actually translate to something, something special down the line, maybe become cornerstone players. But the New Orleans Saints have a lot of issues. I mean, the special teams. I think they have an issue with the kicker. Blake Grupe has missed 5 field goals in 5 games. The kick return, terrible, bad decision making. You do not catch the ball at the 10-yard line. Like, if you see it at the 10, like it bounced over, just get out of the way. Like, these guys are trying to return kicks when it's pretty easy. Like, let the ball bounce into the end zone, get it at the 35. Like, you don't have to do these things, but it's a lot of imperfections with this team. And I'm not one of those people that just like, oh, they won. No, the offense didn't look good. The defense helped them out tremendously. And the special teams, they got to get that fixed, because if you're talking about being in close games, it might come down to a field goal. And nobody's saying anything now about those 2 missed field goals by Blake Grupe. But they damn sure going to be saying something if the game is tied or the Saints are down by 2 and a field goal win the game. I don't want to hear it. They have some issues, but I'm happy that they got the win. This means absolutely nothing for the future, in my opinion. It just means that the Saints are just a little bit better than the Giants and a lot better than a lot of people may have gave them credit at the beginning of the season.
Certainly, James, let's go on up to you. What did you think about this game and the first win of the New Orleans Saints?
It was, the first win of, the head coach's career, Kellen Moore, first win of Spencer Rattler's career, which kudos to him for that. I agree, man. Look, this was a game that they needed. Finally was able to put enough together, both offensively and defensively. I am very curious to get TJ's opinion on this, because I am noticing that, like, Kamara did get some work as both a runner and a receiver, but not a ton of work given how the flow of the game went. So I'm curious, because I've seen some stuff online where it's like, hey, maybe Alvin Kamara is somebody who might be traded away from New Orleans. TJ, I'm curious about your thoughts on that.
Well, the way I feel about Alvin, I believe that Kendre Miller just ran the ball better. Like, it's like that sometimes, James. Like sometimes you have 2 running backs, and one of them might get the hot hand, and the other one may not be seeing the field the way the other one is. I just think it's one of those games. But as far as the whole trade rumors, I wouldn't be objective to seeing Alvin Kamara on the move. And it's not because I feel like Alvin Kamara is washed or anything like that. Like, I just think Alvin Kamara kind of thrives in a different type of system. I do not like the way the New Orleans Saints utilize him. I mean, he has been a part of the screen game, angle routes, wheel routes under Sean Payton, and even Pete Carmichael. The things that have made Alvin Kamara special, the Saints don't utilize him in that way anymore. It's like they basically just have him running stretch plays or toss plays. Like, can he do it? Yeah, theoretically, yes, he's a running back, but that's not how his bread has been buttered. That has not been a reason why people have called him one of the most dynamic running backs in the NFL. I just think that the Saints aren't utilizing him correctly. So if they could trade him, I wouldn't be objective to that. Like, football is a business at the end of the day. You got to do what's best for your team. When you start talking about mom and pop shop and I love this player and he brought me a sweater on Christmas and I'll never forget it. When you start running your organization like that, that's when you start losing. So if Alvin Kamara can give you something back, you can get something in return, for Alvin, I'm all for that. And it has nothing to do with the way I feel about him. I think he's the greatest running back in New Orleans Saints history. But I think Kendre Miller has something to say. And, a guy that has been talked about and ridiculed for the last 2 seasons, he's starting to show and flash. And Alvin Kamara, he still flashes. But, last game, it was just more Kendre just showing you that he's starting something special, and maybe he can be that premier back for the Saints going forward.
Any last thoughts on this game, James?
No, nice.
No, just nice win. Got you. All right, Berto, let's go on over to you. What did you think about the win?
Yeah, good performance by the New Orleans Saints. I think this is back-to-back weeks where we're seeing that defensive line for the Saints come to life in a way. I mean, I think they controlled the line of scrimmage against the Buffalo Bills, which saw them have so much success early on. And in this one against the Giants, I think they completely just, kept everything at bay and in front of them. Brian Brzee was a dominant force on Sunday. I think he was credited with the sack. I think it was a tackle for loss, but I think it went down as the only sack of the game for the New Orleans Saints. But he continues to be a wrecking ball in that regard. You got to shout out Kool-Aid McKinstry on what he was able to do. TJ, I know you haven't been the biggest fan of him, but he came up and showed out on Sunday. Played, it got 2 picks, one when it mattered the most, and I think that was the most impressive one, where he peeled all the way across the defense, recognized the route, and got that pick. So you should be happy in that regard. Of course,
I wouldn't have caught that.
You wouldn't have caught that?
No, I wouldn't have. And you want to know why? I'm going to cut you off.
No, that's all right.
Okay, go ahead. So it's 4th down, right? All right, nobody was right there. The ball was on a 40-yard line, right? Yep. So he caught the ball at like the 10. So when he caught the interception, it was a turnover, but the Saints started at the 10-yard line. Like if he would have just batted out of bounds, it would have been a turnover on downs. And
understood.
He started at the 40. But I mean, that's me nitpicking, man. Situation,
but that's all right. He went for the stat. He needed that.
Yeah,
There's a lot. I'm sure
You're
that the fan base must be talking bad about him, but he had a good game to say the least. But overall, Spencer Rattler getting his first win. He's had many of tries. The head coach getting his first win. Of course, I'm more happy for this. The Saints getting the win, sure. But also, it shuts the narrative down that Jackson Dart is this glorified QB. We saw this shit happen with J.J. McCarthy after his week 1 victory over the Bears, and they glazed him into week 2 against the Falcons, and we shut that shit down.
This is rich coming from you, Berto.
Thank you so much. And then, listen, man, you got to give credit where credit is due, right? Never mind the rivalry or anything like that, but the media tries to drive a narrative on these young QBs or just off of one victory, and then they come stumbling back down to earth. Same could be said for Jackson Dart. Sure, everything looked good in that first performance for him, but he came back down to earth against the Saints. So shout out to you guys for getting that W, man.
Absolutely, which means, Clay, we got one more person to talk about this game before we get into the Week 6 previews. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought Spencer Rattler and his receivers, they showed some life in this game. Rattler had over 225 yards, a touchdown, no turnovers, no sacks, right? Hit Rashid Shaheed for a huge 87-yard bomb. That flipped the game's momentum. Actually looked confident for once. So, this offense and this passing attack doesn't look like a middle school offense, but it wasn't perfect, but it was damn progress for this team, right? I do think the secondary was lights out in this game. Kool-Aid McKinstry, Jonas Anchor, those guys basically locked down New York's offense in this game. Again, just like TJ said, man, like this defense finally forced turnovers. The offense finally made some big plays. Kellen Moore gets his first win. There's still things to fix. Obviously, this team is in rebuild mode. But the run defense, pass rush, special teams, stuff like that. But at least, this team is showing some signs of life, right? So, I mean, maybe the Saints can turn the corner, maybe get some wins here and there that maybe we don't expect.
Certainly. Well, let us know what you guys think in the comment section below about not just this game, but all of the games here. Week 5 for the NFC South. That allowed everybody to be victorious. We'll see if the same thing can happen next week. Probably not, but you never know. Stay tuned for our show next Tuesday.
This guy.
Dylan.
You like that, Berto? I got to keep them on their toes. Got to keep them on their toes. Showbiz, baby. Showbiz.
Oh, my God.
But let's go ahead and let's get into Week 6. But actually, in fact, before we do that, I do want to share something with these people. And no, it is not RotoWire. We'll talk about them another day, but that day is not today. What I do want to let you guys know about is our good friends over at Swivel. Now, what Swivel is they are a Chrome extension. So for all of you that have a laptop, have a computer, and you use Chrome, use Google to look things up, what this is that when you go to look something up on Google, right below it, you are going to see all of Roundtable Sports content, all the way from what we post on YouTube to what we post on Instagram to what we post on Twitter, all of that good stuff and everything in between, making sure you're up to date with everything happening league-wide, even what's happening here in the NFC South. So make sure you guys go ahead and download Swivel so you are updated 24/7 with all of Roundtable Sports' latest content. But guys, let's go ahead. Let's get into this first game. James, you're going up against Mac Jones here potentially and the 49ers, man. That team cooking. Kendrick Bourne, almost 150 yards there receiving. They're dealing with injuries, but they're still finding a way to win. What do you think about this game?
No, Colby, just keep going, please. No, just give me more. Give me more reasons as to why the Bucs are going to lose 90-0 in this game.
In for the game. You want me to give you a better one? But those Tampa Bay Buccaneers are coming off of a monster win. Rookie wide receiver Emeka Egbuka in the conversation for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Baker Mayfield, the MVP. Who will come down with the win? James, tell us.
Don't you patronize me?
Do you like that? Is that better?
Don't you do this?
I can switch it up for you. You let me know what you want.
All that was missing was the red carpet. Sheesh.
Listen, so it's another tough game here for the Bucs, right? Now, these are two teams that are very banged up right now, right? On both sides. Obviously, the 49ers, I don't know if Brock Purdy's playing in this game. I think we're going to have to see a little bit later on in this week, but Mac Jones has been great. He's been doing a lot of really good work there. Has been doing some good stuff in his own right. So this is not going to be an easy game under any circumstances, much like last week, how it was 2 3-1 teams. Well, this is 2 4-1 teams going head to head. But I am going to go ahead and give the Bucs the win here. It's at home. It does feel like a matchup that they can certainly win, basically, especially since what we've seen from them so far this year. So I think a big key is going to be stopping Christian McCaffrey and rattling Mac Jones. Trying to get to him as much as possible, stalling that offense as much as you can. And then on the offensive side of things, look, just rely on what's been working. Rely on your playmakers. Godwin's going to be another week healthier and kind of getting back into the fold. I don't believe Mike Evans is going to be playing in this game. I suppose it's still possible, but I know Bucky is not going to be playing in this game. So rely more on Rashad White going forward. Berto said it earlier. Kate Otten had a big game this past week. So just rely on some of the guys that you have left to make those plays. Of course, obviously Emeka Ibuka. And I think they can come away with a home win here. So I do have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning this football game.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers with another win, according to James. Absolutely love it. Berto, let's go on over to you. Are you also going to take the Bucs?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bucs in this one. Yeah, sure, both teams are banged up, but the match that I'm looking at is the chess match between Robert Saleh and Todd Bowles, two masterminds on the defensive front, and right now, sure, the 49ers defense they're still good. Fred Warner's still there, all-world linebacker, but they're missing something, and that's pass rush. I think that Tampa's going to find ways to rattle Mac Jones and really show who Mac Jones really is actually. Just that old New England Patriot style Mac Jones. This is no dig at you, Kobe. Don't take it personal or anything like that. But give me the Bucs on this one, man, comfortably.
Give you the Bucs comfortably in this one.
Yeah.
Okay, we were talking multiple possessions then. Okay. All right, Berto, give us some love to the in-division rivals. I respect it. What about you, Clay?
Yeah, I mean, Baker Mayfield's cooking, man. Guy's been ice cold when it matters. I think San Francisco is still a dangerous team, even with Mac Jones at the quarterback. I mean, we're talking about a guy who had over 342 passing yards last week and had a 100-plus rating in the 2 of the 3 starts he has. But the San Francisco 49ers are 3-0 away from home, but Tampa Bay's defense is going to have to bring hell in this game. I think Mayfield's got the late game swagger that keeps paying off. Again, I just think the Bucs special teams does need to get better in coverage. Because again, it keeps putting them in bad field position. I'm going to give the Bucs win here. I think Baker gets another statement win, and Tampa keeps proving they belong in the NFC contender conversation.
Yeah. Now, let me speak on this, Clay, real quick. Let me speak on that special teams comment real quick, okay? You're right. Go on.
I'm telling you, James, it's got to stop, man. It's got to stop.
No, I know. Trust me.
Little bit of trolling there, James. Taking a page out of my book. I like it. I'm teaching you something. Teaching you a little something here and there. You're improving, man. I like it.
You teach me something every day, Colby.
Every day.
I don't know what I do. I don't know what
every
I do
day, but every week I do, and it's going to continue to happen. All right, TJ, let's go on over to you. What do you think about this game?
I think that this is going to be a really good game. These teams, they're tough football teams, both of them. You got Todd Bowles, former Jets head coach. You got Robert Saleh, former Jets head coach. Look, it's going to be tough for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The 49ers really showed some grit. They really showed me something. I mean, Kyle Shanahan coached his ass off last Thursday. I mean, that was like one of the best coaching performances I've seen in a long time. I mean, all of the injuries, guys being out, they had no business in the game, let alone winning. And also Mac Jones, I mean, he showed a level of toughness that a lot of people probably felt he didn't have. But he is banged up. And if he's playing in this game, I don't think that even though they had a mini bye, I still feel like he's probably going to be feeling the effects of that Rams game. It's very simple. Tampa is going to win this football game because Tampa, to me, is going to put shots on Mac Jones. And if Brock Purdy plays in this game, they definitely are going to win this football game. So it's just a matter of who's going to be the quarterback. If Mac Jones playing, might get an interesting game. If Brock Purdy plays, then you're probably going to be in San Francisco calling up the radio station saying that Mac Jones needs to be a starter. I got Tampa winning this football game.
All right. Sounds like everybody's got Tampa winning this week. I mean, look, both these teams 4-1. One of these teams ultimately is going to fall to 2 losses. We'll recap that next week. Let's go ahead and let's get into the next game. A massive, massive game here for you, Berto. This
Yes,
is
sir.
a team in the Buffalo Bills that is coming off their first loss on the season. New England Patriots hand the only team left in the NFL their first loss after 15 straight home games of dominant wins. They either are going to be motivated to win this game, or the Patriots found a flaw in the Buffalo Bills that now your Atlanta Falcons can take advantage of. You're also coming off of a bye week, so you get a little bit healthier. You get extra time to prepare. What do you think about this game?
So we're bracing ourselves for the very best Buffalo Bills that we can possibly get, or any NFL team can get. Of course, they come off an emotional loss to the New England Patriots, so they're gonna want to, they want to get their lick back, so to say. They want to get revenge that W. They want to avenge that W, that would be W against the Pats. So for the Falcons, it's all about discipline, right? How disciplined can you be? We all know that Josh Allen can beat you with his arm, can beat you with his legs, and for me, that's the scary part for this Falcons team, is containing the quarterback in the pocket. We've had struggles in the past containing mobile quarterbacks. What lessons were learned from those games? What did this defensive staff, break down and analyze on how to be better, key in on certain situation? Well, this situation being Josh Allen. So I need the Falcons to be disciplined. Can we do it? I 100% think that we could. We're getting some reinforcement back on defense. AJ Terrell's coming back. Taquan Graham is working on his way back. So we're getting, our defense is getting healthier. Now to the game at hand, I think it's doable. I think it's not a must win like it was for the Commanders versus the Falcons. And this one, I think, we have had a lot of motivation during the bye week to just work ourselves up and get better. With the bye week, of course, you review film and you look at what worked and what didn't, and go with the best strategy going forward. And our best strategy going forward is feature Bijan and Tyler Algier, the bread and butter of this Falcons offense. Obviously, we are a run-first team, and obviously we can build off the pass on that. And I think Penix, silenced a lot of critics against that Commanders defense on being able to throw the deep ball or any accurate passes down the middle of this defense. I think all of these things could be achievable against the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, we saw Stephon Diggs go off for 146 yards this past week. And, oh, by the way, it's a watch Tre'Davious White going to try and guard Drake London, who went off for 100-plus yards in his own right against the Commanders. So it's going to be a close one. I think it could be a close one, but it's going to be a tough battle for the Falcons at home. I still think the Falcons can come out on top 30-27, man.
30-27. Berto's taking his Falcons. Berto,
Oh, yeah.
I thought maybe you would say that this is going to be a confident win for Atlanta, that maybe you guys could win by multiple possessions. I was thinking maybe even a blowout, maybe even a score of 28-3 in favor of the Falcons.
You are
here.
so petty.
I thought that maybe that's something y'all could pull out of week 6 against the Bills, man. But look, let's go down to Clay. Clay, what do you think about this game?
I'm gonna give Colby just some credit where credit's due. I'm gonna say, his Patriots, they did make that Buffalo Bills team look mortal. All right, last week. But they can also go jump a bridge for all I care. But that was also self-inflicted.
Oh wait, I didn't mean to hit the air horn.
Yeah, hit that air horn for that one. The Buffalo Bills lost that game because of dumb penalties and sloppy turnovers. And Josh Allen and those guys got to clean that crap up fast, especially in prime time. Now, Atlanta's no pushover. They're 2-0 at home. They're coming off a bye. I think Michael Penix is starting to look comfortable. I said that in the last show. The rookies, he's not a rookie, but the kid's got an arm. He's got guts. The weapons are there. But Buffalo's just deeper and faster. I think they're more disciplined in crunch time as well. I think that they're also very pissed off. And when a team like that's coming off a loss into your home, and especially with Josh Allen, I think Penix will make some big throws. I think he'll keep it close. But I think in the end, Josh Allen's going to make another damn play than the Falcons are. And I just think that the Bills are going to win this game.
Oh, Berto's taking the Falcons. Clay's taking the Bills. TJ, who are you taking?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this could be a game, for the Atlanta Falcons. They can actually make a statement in this game. These are the type of games that if you want to show somebody that you're for real, you're actually trending in the right direction. You're on a cusp of being a contender. Like we seen it on Monday night, Jacksonville versus Kansas City, right? We seen them pull that game out in the clutch. But it ain't happening. All right. It ain't happening with the Atlanta Falcons because they ain't there yet. All right. They showed something against the Commanders. I give them that. But Buffalo is a good football team. And some of the things that Buffalo is good at, watching the Atlanta Falcons, they struggle with. And when you talking about a mobile quarterback, it gets no better than Josh Allen. His ability to be able to escape the pocket, break tackles, and even though Jeff Albrecht, who is very familiar with Josh Allen, I don't think it's going to do you all any good. I do feel that Bijan Robinson is probably going to have a monster day. I really do. I think he's going to be able to run the football. They're going to pass the ball to him. He's going to make some plays because that's just who he is. But I just think the Buffalo Bills, they just got that something extra that most teams don't have. And coming off a loss, the way that they lost on Sunday night, I just think they're going to be motivated in this game. I don't think that they're going to blow out Atlanta. I think Atlanta going to be game for this because, once again, they want to try to prove that they're trending in the right direction. But there is levels to this, and I just think Buffalo is just a better football team at this point. So I got Buffalo.
TJ's taking Buffalo. We got Clay taking Buffalo. Berto taking his Falcons. James, it all comes down to you. Who are you taking?
Well, I'm also going to take Buffalo. I think
shit, you didn't hesitate.
well, when you put it like that,
shit.
Gosh, okay. No, I mean, man, I think the Falcons will be competitive in this game, but and I agree with TJ. Look, this is one of those games where it's like if the Falcons want to prove that they're a legitimate football team, have them go out there and beat the Bills. I just don't think they're going to be able to do it. Josh Allen he's Josh Allen, and the Buffalo Bills, you could argue, are like the best team in football right now, if not top 2 or 3. So, I can see Atlanta struggling to stop Josh Allen. I do think that their defense will look to pressure him a good bit in this game and can do that. The problem is that Josh Allen is just so mobile that I can see that being a bit difficult for them to deal with. Then for them offensively, I think that they're really just going to try to tee off on Penix, really try to force him to make some mistakes. Obviously, with Sean McDermott being a defensive-minded head coach in his own right, I think he's going to scheme up a pretty decent game plan there against that Zach Robinson offense there. So let me take the Buffalo Bills in this one.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this one. Let us know what you guys think about this game in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and let's get into the next game here for week 6. We got Dallas. We got Carolina. Clay, your team's coming off of a pretty big win. What do you think? You guys back-to-back wins in this one?
If we're going to keep this momentum going, it's going to start with running the damn ball. Dallas can't stop the run. Rico's hot. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be interesting how they're going to do this running back by committee approach. I think they're going to do that with Chuba Hubbard. It's just going to be interesting how they going forward with that. But you've got to ride that wave until they beg for mercy, man, because that's what we did with the Miami Dolphins. But again, tempo is the name of the game for Bryce Young. When he plays fast and they will keep that up tempo rhythm, he looks like a legit quarterback. When they slow it down, it's a train wreck. So I think Canales needs to keep calling those plays like he's trying to win, not protect Bryce. Like I said, keep being aggressive. And if Bryce Young fails, he fails. But at least you went out there and failed trying to be aggressive and not being scared. Continue to get Nick scoring, Derek Brown hunting. Dak's been too comfortable lately. You got to make him move. You got to make him panic. You got to make him feel every snap because right now he is playing like an MVP candidate. But this team has to start fast. You cannot go out there and start out 17-0 against this Dallas Cowboys teams because there's no coming back against them. I honestly think this is going to be one of those games that's going to be a dogfight. I think Dallas has the talent edge for sure. We've got the energy, we've got the momentum. You've got a pissed off ex-Cowboy ready to run through the walls. Until the Panthers prove that they can start fast and again stay consistent, I have to lean the Dallas Cowboys. But if the Panthers bring that same fire we saw from last week, I wouldn't be shocked if they punch Dallas right in the mouth because right now this team's finally showing some life. but I'm going to take Dallas in this one.
Gonna take Dallas. Respect, Clay. You know what? You're not riding the bandwagon of last week. You're still sticking with your guns. I respect that. TJ, what about you?
Dallas gonna win this football game, and it's not even gonna be close. I'm just being honest. Look, the Miami Dolphins were a train wreck. I'm just telling you. Like, the reason why they were able to come back in that game, I'm talking Carolina, is because of Miami. Like, their coaches on a hot seat. Don't seem like guys are really that interested. Go back and just watch the game. Man, Dallas, look, Dallas on a different level offensively right now. I think the absence of CeeDee Lamb has kind of helped Dak Prescott, because when you're so focused in on giving a number one receiver multiple targets, double-digit targets, it kind of like makes you not be able to see the field. Like, you're seeing guys like George Pickens and Tolbert and Turpin and like all these different guys like making plays down the field. And I just think that is helping them. And I just think that they're like, I'm happy they won last week, but they're going to run into a buzzsaw. Like, Dallas offense is legit. Defensively, they still got some issues, but Bryce Young has showed you, like, he'll turn the ball over very early in the game. And if you turn the ball over early in the game, Dallas is they're going to feast on that. So I don't think this game going to be close, man. I got Dallas winning. I'm talking
TJ's
like
got
30,
Dallas winning,
I'm talking
man.
about 35-17 or something like that. Like, I'm serious, man.
Oh,
It
like
might get
BTA
ugly,
type
Clay.
game.
It might get ugly, man. I'm sorry.
BTA type game. Well, you know what? So far, we got everybody on the same page. We got TJ taking the Cowboys. We got Clay taking the Cowboys. James, you also going to take the Cowboys? Or you want to take the upset?
No, I'm gonna take the Cowboys. I let it hang longer that time for Birdo.
It was exciting. It was exciting.
Yeah. So that one was for you, Birdo. No, I got
Thank you, buddy. I
Cowboys in
appreciate
it. Buddy. Golly, look at it. See, everybody talks. He talks down to me. You see, buddy.
Oh, hey, listen.
Golly.
Golly.
Listen.
Look at that.
I got the Cowboys winning this game. I agree with what everybody's been saying, where the Cowboys have just been playing at a high level offensively. We talked about how the defense played really well for the Panthers last week, but this week, I just feel like they are going to take a bit of a step back, playing a higher octane offense here for Dallas. And then, I just feel like the hot and cold streak for Bryce Young is just going to continue here. Now, I am going to be curious to see how Rico Dowell does against his old team. He kind of put them on watch coming into this game. But ultimately, I feel like Dallas is just the more talented team so far to this point. So I'm going to go ahead and give them the win here.
All right, we got another Dallas win. Berto, you going to make this one 4 out of 4?
Man, I am 4 of 4, man. I'm going with Dallas on this one. I don't know if it's going to be competitive at all. I mean, Dallas can get after the quarterback. They rank, I think, like 15th in the league in terms of sacks, and they prove they can get after it. And the one thing for sure we know is that once you get to Bryce, turnovers come aplenty. And I just think that Dallas is going to prove too much to be too much for Carolina. We saw them steamroll the Jets, and I just don't think it's going to be that. It's not going to even be close, man. I think Dallas wins by a landslide in this one, bro.
Sounds like everybody's taking Dallas in this matchup, but let us know what you guys think. Is there any way that the Carolina Panthers can pull out this dub? But let's get into the final game here for the NFC South, entering week 6. Because we got a matchup of two teams that are both coming off wins. The New Orleans Saints, the New England Patriots. Patriots coming off of big momentum back-to-back wins, but they're now going to New Orleans to play in the Dome. TJ, any way you guys come out with the upset?
No. I don't think the Saints are going to win this football game.
Oh my God!
I'm being 100% real. Drake May kind of showed me something last week versus the Buffalo Bills. Some of the throws that he made, and there's one wide receiver on that team that just is a beast, and that's Stephon Diggs. And I don't see any cornerback on the New Orleans Saints team that is going to be able to neutralize this dude. Like, I just don't. His ability to be able to get off the line, discipline route running, getting yards after the catch. Like, he is a guy that can wreak havoc. Like, I think he'll go over 100 yards again. I don't think that it's going to be a blowout or anything like that. I do think the Saints are going to sack Drake May. One thing that I've noticed about Drake May, and he does this constantly, they might want to talk to him about that. but he rolls to his right a lot, a whole lot, a lot, like to a point where a team can scheme against him and he can turn the ball over constantly. Like he's a talented guy. He can make all the throws, and he's really coming into his own. But I think the Saints are going to lose this football game. Offensively, I wasn't impressed overall. 0-3 in the red zone. And yeah, like I said, the special teams still give me a little bit of skepticism when it comes to like them being able to help this team out. So I got the New England Patriots winning, but you know, the Saints will be in the game from start to finish.
Respect, TJ. Absolutely loved every second of that. James, let's go on up to you, man. Do you think that the New England Patriots are also going to win this game? Be careful about your words.
You tell me, man. You tell me. I know something about you. You tell me.
Yeah, you know something about me.
Yeah.
Guys, James has the New England Patriots winning in blowout fashion. Drake made 500 passing yards, and now he wants me to kick this.
That's not. Hey, slow your roll, man. This dude ain't that good.
No, it's not going to happen.
This isn't Matt Ryan versus the Carolina defense. Come on.
The Saints will play a close game. The Saints will, because the Saints are underrated. And low-key, like, this is a trap game for the New England Patriots, because I know if you look at the record, and that's what people are going to do, and they're going to box score-wise, like, the Saints suck. I'm not saying they're a great team, but, like, they're a team that we saw against Buffalo. Like, they're going to be in it up until the end, and they could win any single week. It just comes down to they need their opponents to kind of beat themselves a little bit at times, so they're going to come away with these wins. So Patriots definitely can't take the New Orleans Saints lightly. I'm going to say that confidently. But James, what do you think? Give
me the upset. I'll take the Saints on this one. I'll take the Saints on this one. Why not? Why not? I think that. Oh, I'm sorry, Cole, but does that upset you?
So guys, unfortunately, James did leave the show.
Wow.
We're going to be looking for a new Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Let it stand here that this man,
that's crazy.
This man right here to the left of the panel is a totalitarian.
Totalitarian
of this round
Why are
table.
you talking about Clay like that?
Look at that. Look at that. He's the puppet master. He manipulates his strings to fit his narratives. It's terrible, everyone. You heard it here first. Listen, I got the Saints winning this game. I don't know. I just feel like the Patriots, they had this crazy big win against the Buffalo Bills. I think they're due for a shocking loss here. And the Saints are riding high off of their first win. I don't know. I just got something about the upset here, man. So let me get the New Orleans Saints in this one.
Berto Europe. That's all I got to say. Berto Europe.
I got you. I'll make it short and sweet. Traditionally, the NFC South doesn't do good against AFC East teams, primarily New England. So it's not going to – I don't think it's going to be a blowout. It could be closer than what most people think. I'll take New England, but it's not going to be a blowout though, man. I just don't think so. I think Drake May will do some bonehead shit to give every opportunity to the Saints, but I still think that the Patriots will come out on top.
All right, Clay, we got one more person to talk about the game. What do you think?
I think this one's going to be grinded out. I think that's what it's going to be. I think Mike Vrabel's team is starting to click. I think Drake May is completing over 77% of his passes right now. Has two big road wins, and the kid looks unshakable. The Saints forced 5 turnovers against the Giants last week. I don't think that's going to happen again. But you don't get that kind of charity against the Patriots team that protects the ball and plays smart. I think this game is going to be close to what people think. I think it's going to be like a 25-18 type of game. I think May stays poised. I think that Vrabel's defense will smother the Saints, and I think New England keeps climbing. But I think it's going to be closer to what people think.
James, anything to say before we wrap up? Any last words you want to say about the game?
No,
that's it. Okay,
no,
I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to give you the floor, but nonetheless, real talk. All jokes aside, I think this is actually going to be a very, very good game because New Orleans is definitely a tough place to play. I don't think a lot of people give it credit for that. So I think it's gonna be a fun game. I think it's gonna come down to the wire for sure. Nonetheless, no matter who comes out on top. But let us know what you guys think about these games in the comment section below. That is going to wrap it up for today's episode here for the NFC South Roundtable, recapping everything of Week 5 and, of course, previewing Week 6. Make sure you guys tune in live next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern when we break down everything that happened in Week 6 and preview Week 7. But as always, we appreciate you guys so much for watching. And, of course, stay safe.
Roundtable Sports Network is your one-stop shop for all things NFL, with daily live shows covering all 8 divisions in the league, hosted by the best content creators on the web, all on one network. Catch the AFC East live every Monday at 7 p.m. and on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. The AFC North Roundtable live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. The AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. The NFC East Roundtable live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. The NFC West Roundtable live at 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. The NFC North Roundtable is at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, and the NFC South Roundtable is live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. EST. And of course, fourth and forever, the flagship show of Roundtable Sports Network covering all things NFL at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel. Real coverage, real fans.